Hello, I'm Nathan Judo. I'm here with Wolves reporter Mr. Liam Keane. Liam, what a bounce back. Needed as well after that Palace, and they have done, haven't they? West Ham coming here in stunning form, and they've been crushed 1-0. Look, it's a cracking win for Wolves, isn't it?
Oh, it's a brilliant win. Well, on paper, first of all, even before we get to the game, you look at the form West Ham are in, the players, the attacking flair they've got, the midfield they've got, midfield enforcers they've got. Wolves, I thought, in every department were better than them.
They were another fight, West Ham. They really were.
100%.
Fair play.
And I'll come to the midfield first, actually, because it was a big thing before the game. Bruno made a big thing of it as well. It was fairly obvious that Souček and Rice are two very, very good midfielders for them. And I thought Ruben Neves, once again, was absolutely superb today. Again, not taking anything away from Moutinho, I thought he was great as well, but I have to pick Neves out because once again, once he is on song and running a game, Wolves play well and tend to win games.
His positioning was great. His passing was effective. They were quick breaking. It was really good.
Exactly. He was brilliant. So just to pick that particular point out first, because I thought they dominated the midfield, which is something you can't say about this team every week, particularly this season. They dominate the midfield. They got it out wide effectively. Hwang, Aït-Nouri, Semedo, and Podence got into all different positions out on the flanks. Podence coming inside as well and picking the ball up in pockets of space in between the lines and playing neat passes. I thought after a quiet 20 minutes, I thought he had a very good game as well. And then it just happened to be fate, didn't it? The day that Raul Jimenez's documentary came out, he scores a brilliant goal to win the game.
It was a brilliant goal because, you know, if you're on the commentary and you've read the text, whether it's just he's side-footed at home. He was a long way away from goal there, and Podence, like I say, and he was my man of the match. Actually, this Podence, I thought he was superb after that first 15-20 minutes. He really made things tick. He was always, when he had the ball, looking up for Raul, looking up. He found him, and you know, I think Fabianski is one of the best keepers in the league. So to beat him from that distance with the side foot, fair play. He struck it beautifully.
Particularly the pace is coming across, and he's hit it first time, as you say. And just the accuracy of it as he's hit it first time on that pace was brilliant. It was a textbook finish. He's doing interviews down there now, and I'm sure he'll be very pleased because he, you know, without getting too sentimental, he's come through a very difficult period, hasn't he? He's come back, he's scoring goals, playing well. I think the players around him have, for the most part, played well, and particularly today, Hwang and Podence have been brilliant.
And the most important thing, and you look at the top of the pitch, you look at the midfield, but a clean sheet against West Ham as well will give, you know, and there's a lot of people thinking, well, Willy Bolly's been on the bench for such a long time, you know, when's he going to get back? Well, he might have to wait till after the African Cup of Nations because, you know, these back three are performing pretty well. Max Kilman was sensational again. If only he'd have taken that chance, I mean, whether it was on
12
or not.
yards
But,
was it?
but great, and there's a real cohesion there, and with Sarr as well, and his handling and his distribution. There was one ball he picked out, Daniel Podence, so I'm like, oh my goodness, it's working. They're sixth, Liam, tonight. They're sixth. They're 4 points off second, although, you know, a couple of people have got a team. I'm still emphasising 4 points off second. But, you know, it's great. Now, if they do strengthen in January, if they keep on playing like this, they've got Norwich and Burnley to come. No disrespect to them. The Norwich have won today, Burnley have drawn, so you're going to have to play well and beat those teams. They've got a tricky December. But if they can be in and amongst it, you know, a lot of people were saying bottom six this season for Wolves. They're doing a cracking job here. And I'll keep on talking to the public for a long time, but, you know, they could do something, you never know. You don't put it past this team.
I said this earlier this week on the podcast. If you can get yourself to the new year, particularly after the December fixtures you've got coming up, which are very tough, and you can get there in and around it by the new year.
Yeah, and it looks like it's going to be tight all year, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think so. It's a tight league this year. I think that is a very successful first half of the season, and I think that's somewhere to build on, particularly, as you say, if they do something in January, they add to this squad, which does need additions. It is a little bit too small. But, you know, you mentioned the defence, and I have to mention Kilman. I thought he was brilliant. And the other two as well, Cody and Size, again, very good, very solid. But think about how good West Ham have been this season. David Moyes has done a tremendous job there. And what real chances did they have? The first half, they had barely a half chance when Antonio ran through into the box, and that was about it. Second half, Bowen had an opportunity.
Bowen before he got taken off.
From maybe 12, 15 yards. That was the biggest chance for them. But other than that, they didn't have anything massive. They had a lot of balls into the box, and that leads me nicely on to the habit the Wolves have got into of sitting back on a slim lead and defending very deep, and it gets a bit nervy, doesn't it?
I was nervous.
They did it. So they did it against Newcastle. They did it against Everton. They did it here again today. They won all three of those games. But eventually, there's going to be a sucker punch. Way it leads, they did it. They conceded a last-minute goal. So they had to get out of that habit, I think. But to be seeing games out, to get a clean sheet, they're all positives, and you have to take the positives from today because we're not the only ones to say this, and many people have thought this. West Ham were big favourites coming into this.
Big favourites, yeah. Champions League ambitions, and still do have Champions League ambitions, I'm sure.
Well, according to the South Bank, Champions League, you're having a laugh.
Are you having a laugh? We'll soon see. We'll take it. We'll talk West Ham 0 for all the post-match reaction. Make sure you log on to expressthestar.com.